In the United States, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, or as we call them, Hyundai Ioniq 5 here in Australia, it's pretty well priced, fairly affordable. You can get a lease for 189 US dollars. I mean, that's really good. But here in Australia, um, yeah, not so much. In fact, they're quite expensive to buy. Hyundai, they actually slashed prices on the 2025 model year in the US by 10,000 US dollars. But here in Australia, they put the prices up. And there's been some pretty angry people making some comments, which I think are probably pretty fair. One comment that a lot of people agreed with was they said it's $20,000 overpriced. Another one said the Zeekr 7X is cheaper. The all-wheel drive Zeekr 7X is cheaper than the rear-wheel drive Hyundai Ioniq 5 or Hyundai Ioniq 5, which misses out on many features that the Zeekr gets. Someone else said, what are these guys smoking? And another person quoted Hyundai CEO's quote. The CEO of Hyundai here in Australia said a couple of months ago, we are terrible at EVs. Well, it turns out some things never change. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Now, a comment on the pricing of the new updated Hyundai Ioniq 5 here in Australia is this thing is 4 years old. Have they not amortized the R&D on this and across the EGMP platform? This needs to be much, much cheaper. Pass, the price is ridiculous, said someone else, and I totally agree with them. What the heck is Hyundai doing? Were they drunk? Even the base Ioniq 5 is more expensive than the much more powerful and much better equipped and cheaper Zeekr 7X all-wheel drive. Someone else said, wildly overpriced. And finally, we do a terrible job with our EVs, said Mr. Romano to the media about Hyundai's EV sales in Australia. Well, yeah, things aren't about to get any better because the pricing of this car is inexplicable. Guys, I've had a look at the specifications for this car. You'd have to be absolutely mad to buy one of these. Seriously, it is so overpriced, it's ridiculous. And the only way you can get ventilated seats, seriously, the only way you get ventilated seats in this car, which is standard on cars that cost $30,000, is to pay $91,000. $91,000 for the all-wheel drive, not the performance version, just the standard all-wheel drive version, which has less than 500 kilometers of range, by the way. The only way to get heated seats in this car, not even rear seats, just the front seats, is to buy the Elite, which is more than $80,000. Guys, looking at the specifications for this car, it is so incredibly poorly specified for the money. It's quite shocking. So I don't like this because I think that this car is great. I think it's a fantastic car, but Hyundai clearly do not want to sell them here in Australia for whatever reason. I'm guessing they probably lose money on them. So they're just trying to discourage people from buying them. Hyundai's Ioniq 5 or the Hyundai Ioniq 5, it's had a model year change and the base price has risen by $6,500. They got rid of the small battery version. That's gone. There's now 4 different models. So the 63 kilowatt hour battery option, that's gone. Now all 4 models have an 84 kilowatt hour battery, which is good, but the range is not quite as good as what you would expect. The base Hyundai Ioniq 5 with rear-wheel drive gets a new 19-inch wheel design. The Ioniq 5 Elite rear-wheel drive is the next model up. It used to be called the Dynamic, and then there's the all-wheel drive N-Line Premium Edition, and then there's the flagship N model. So 4 models. The base 2 are rear-wheel drive, and the top 2 specs are all-wheel drive. But you do have to pay for paint. You got to pay an extra $750 for paint. So the prices I'm about to just talk about here in this video are excluding paint and excluding features that are standard in much, much cheaper cars. But you do get some new stuff. New to the range is the Hyundai Digital Key 2.0, which allows you to unlock and start the car using your smartphone or watch. But you can already do that with other cars as well anyway. Devices without UWB require you to tap the card against the door handle to unlock the car. Anyway, before I go on, I should also mention the fact that the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, it's now, I believe, $6,000 more expensive, and it doesn't really get much extra for that. Very little, in fact. The main change it gets is a panoramic roof. It's not even a panoramic sunroof, it's just a panoramic fixed glass roof. And they're basically saying that justifies the extra spend. The standard Ioniq 5N and the next model up don't get that glass roof, which is kind of surprising. The My 26N gains a couple of features that were apparently rolled out to the My 25 lineup, including LED headlights with Hyundai's intelligent front lighting system, plus a steering wheel with haptic feedback. I don't think a steering wheel with haptic feedback is an upgrade. I think that's a downgrade. And an auto up-down function for the windows, which should have been there to begin with. Hyundai says the Ioniq 5N's N-Drift Optimizer Pro system, if you like to drift, then it's a good way to do it, has been updated with more customization options and greater functionality. So you can drift in this car if that's your thing. I personally wouldn't spend $120,000 and then take my car drifting. I probably don't have that skill, and I don't think I'd want to wreck my tires anyway. On a car with tires this expensive, drifting is probably not a thing for most people. Pricing, base model, 76,200 plus paint, you're looking at 77,000 Australian dollars. So that's about 50,000 US dollars. The next model up, 81,200. That gives you really just a front motor in addition. The front motor is not all that powerful though, so it's not a particularly fast car. Anyway, 81,200. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 N-Line Premium is 91,700. And the Hyundai Ioniq 5N is 115,000. That's Australian dollars, by the way. So pricing, it's about 53,000 US dollars for the second tier model, the Ioniq 5 Elite. Then you're looking at about 60,000 US dollars for the Ioniq 5 N-Line Premium. And then you're looking at about 77,000 US dollars for the Ioniq 5N. So a little bit more expensive than what the car costs in the United States. Getting back to the United States, there is some news here, guys. From pricing, Hyundai have slashed the price in the US by 9,800 US dollars to compensate for the loss of the federal EV tax credit. It now has a starting price of under 35,000 US dollars, so much cheaper than the same model, which is actually not even available in Australia. Plus, you can lease it for 189 US dollars per month. Now, you guys in the US, you have a lot more choice than us. We have 4 different models, but you have actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got 8 different models, which is probably a little confusing, but they are also more affordable. And you also do have the car that we don't get. You have the Ioniq 5 XRT, which is the all-wheel driving sort of semi-off-road model of this car, which has less range, drops the range a lot to 259 miles, but it does seem like it's a legit, pretty decent off-roader. Price reductions across the board in the US are pretty massive, right? Is an average price reduction of 9,000 US dollars for almost every model, or more than that. The only model that doesn't have that much of a reduction is the base model. The base model has a discount of 7,600, meaning it's gone from 42,000 down to 35,000 US dollars, making it actually a pretty good deal. Bizarre that the pricing here in Australia is so expensive. Batteries. All models here in Australia have an 84 kilowatt hour battery. The base model, which is $77,000, gets a 168 kilowatt motor. 168 kilowatt. Wow. The next level up, the Ioniq 5 all-wheel drive, gets an extra 74 kilowatt front motor and a 165 kilowatt rear motor for a total power of 239 kilowatt, which is it's actually less power than you get in a lot of single motor EVs these days. The Ioniq 5N gets 166 kilowatt plus 282 kilowatt for 448 kilowatt total. Torque's 350 newton meters for the base model, about 600 newton meters for the mid-spec all-wheel drive, and about 770 newton meters for the all-wheel drive N model. The range, though, it's interesting. Range for the base model is 570 kilometers on the standard 19-inch wheels. If you upgrade those wheels to 20-inch, then range goes down by 40 kilometers. So one single inch increase in wheel size decreases your range by 40 kilometers. It's amazing the difference it makes, isn't it? Imagine putting on 21s. Now, the claim range for the all-wheel drive is a lot less than that at 495 kilometers, and the all-wheel drive N gets only 448 kilometers. So let's compare that car to some of its rivals. Zeekr 7X all-wheel drive. It's not exact rival, it's pretty close. That model gets 543 kilometers of range, about 100 kilometers more than the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. And the Tesla Model Y gets, the performance model gets 580 kilometers. So about 132 kilometers more range than the Ioniq 5N. Servicing and warranty. Pretty good warranty. You get an 8-year warranty on the car, 8-year warranty on the battery. So that's a pretty good deal. Standard equipment is, it's a long list of stuff, but guys, here's what you get if you go up a model from the $77,000 model to the $85,000 model. You get 20-inch alloy wheels, so they decrease your range, obviously. You get some slightly better tires. They are 255/45 Michelin Pilot Sport EV tires. You get rear privacy glass, hands-free power tailgate, heads-up display. So the base model does not get a heads-up display for $77,000. That's wild. You get an 8-speaker Bose sound system, a sliding center console, eco-processed leather appointed upholstery, heated front seats, 10-way power passenger seat with 2-way lumbar, alloy pedals, and a luggage net. So in other words, the base model for $77,000, what, 50,000 US dollars, does not get heated or ventilated seats. It's missing out on a lot of stuff, actually. It's kind of wild. N-Line Premium. So pay your $91,000, or it's about $92,000 actually, plus drive away costs. You get a vision roof, so a fixed glass roof with a power sunshade. Fixed glass roof with a power sunshade. You can get that in like EVs that cost $45,000, $40,000 now. So, but to get it in a Hyundai, you've got to pay $92,000. Crazy. You also get projector LED headlights with intelligent front lighting system that doesn't come in the 2 models below it. You get body colored cladding, 20-inch N-line alloy wheels, suede and leather upholstery, front relaxation seats, ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, memory for all seats, 2-way power rear seats, heated steering wheel, rear door sunshades, red stitching, and an N-line steering wheel with red stitching. Now, if you want to get the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, which is admittedly quite a cool car, it's gone up in price by about $5,000, and it's pretty expensive, probably out of the price range of most people. This is kind of really getting up there now. Anyhow, that car gets 21-inch forged wheels, 275 Pirelli P0 HR tires, adaptive suspension, NE shift, which it's like an artificial shift that makes it feels like you're driving a car with manual shifting, but it does make the car slower. It definitely does. It also has N-active sound, so you get to pretend that you're in a petrol-powered car. It has N launch control, N drift optimizer pro, N torque distribution, N battery preconditioning. I'm going to stop saying N because it's ridiculous. Race mode, electronic limited slip diff. That's a pretty cool feature. 400mm ventilated front brake rotors, 360mm ventilated rear brake rotors, Alcantara and leather upholstery, and N light sports seats. So it doesn't, I don't think it's really that much better than a Tesla Model Y Performance or a Zeekr 7X all drive, which are both much, much cheaper. I mean, the Zeekr is what, like 45 grand cheaper? Is that right? Yeah, nearly $45,000 cheaper. And it gets a lot of that stuff as well. Plus it gets some features that the Hyundai does not get. Colors. All right. Premium paint is $750. Matte finishes cost $1,000. There's 10 colors available. Lots of colors. But there's a new color option called gray matte. Yeah, interesting. People have just slammed the price on this for good reason. I think it makes sense. And I don't really understand why Hyundai are doing this. I do know they've got the Hyundai or the Hyundai Elixio that's coming to the Australian market. That's a Chinese-made car. I believe it's made by Beijing Hyundai. So it's made by a Chinese car company and essentially badged on the inside and the out to be a Hyundai. That car's coming in, and I think they want to have a position between the Nero EV and the Ioniq 5. So they need to have some daylight between those two cars, and so they can position the Hyundai Elixio between them. But either way, Hyundai is not really selling electric cars anymore in Australia because they're just too expensive. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.